Hi. So I've been asked to explain what is the difference between conscious health practice, my new training and workshop that I'm committing all of my time to, and the trainings that I used to give and I was giving last year, in particular the meta health and meta medicine training. So I was and still am a meta health master trainer and master practitioner, and I believe I can keep that title so long as I train a certain amount of practitioners during the year. So I don't know if I'll be keeping that title in the coming year, because I really have decided now that I really want to put all my time into conscious health practice. So I just want to explain why, I want to explain the difference, and I want to explain where I'm going from here. So those of you that know me will know that I wrote the book Meta Messages from Your Body, and this is an explanation of the main principles of meta health and meta medicine. So I wrote the book because I wanted to explain things in my own way, because I was teaching things and explaining things with a background in teaching. I was finding that it was important to teach it in a particular way, that people got a good grounding first in some specific principles before they moved into understanding the principles of meta medicine. But what I really want people to understand is that although I trained with Rob van Overbruggen, who is one of the senior, as I think they're still called, master trainers in IMMA, in the International Meta Medicine Association, I'm also trained in German New Medicine, and I've trained, Dr. Harmer doesn't give trainings at the moment in certification, but I am trained with Caroline Marcolin and with Ilse-Dora Laker, the two that say slightly on the different sides of German New Medicine. And I'm also trained and broadly read in other connecting fields. So obviously Bruce Lipton, people like Aaron Antonovsky, who was one of the early people to talk about kind of the two phases. And a lot of these principles are not owned by any one person. Dr. Harmer is the person most widely accepted as putting a lot of the principles together, but the principles that he put together in and of themselves are all scientific areas of study within medicine. So ontogenesis is the study of the development of the embryo into the different germ layers and how those germ layers respond, and the whole cellular structure of the body. And of course, neurology is a whole area of study. And so I've broadened my study into, and in particular into working, since I've been to Bosnia working with people with severe trauma, I've studied more into those peripheral areas, seeing that they're really the key area, let's say. So my area has moved into putting those things together. So it's understanding Porges' polyvagal theory, which also connects obviously with the two phases, because it's about whether we're in sympathetic or parasympathetic and what that means. And looking at really how the heart math training, for example, affects our physiology and allows us to then go into, change our state and then go into our repair. And I just decided that it wasn't enough for me to work within the framework of meta health anymore. There's nothing wrong with it, and the things that I found restricting for some people, they found supportive. So the framework that gives support to some, for me, I felt was actually preventing me from being able to do things in my own way and from putting them together in my own way. Even in the book, I actually give the 10 principles of meta health, which, as I say, are not unique to meta health, but those principles, I put them across the opposite way around, and I have presented the information in a different way, even in the book about meta medicine. So it's now time for me to start to grow from what I've learned. So, there is no monopoly on that information. I'm very grateful to the training, and I love, I'm very connected with some of the people from the community, and I've learnt a lot from being involved. But it's a big world out there. There's a lot more to learn. There's a lot more to know. And just as with any organisation, there are some people within the organisation that I don't wish to be associated with, and I don't wish to connect with, and I don't feel contribute to what I'm doing in a way that helps me to grow. I need to grow and I need to share what I'm doing. I need you, the person I work with or the person I give this information to own this. And thus far, all the structures that have been put in place seem to want to have that happen, but have a fear about that too. So conscious health practice takes all of the principles and all of the things that I've learned in meta-medicine and in German New Medicine and in all the other areas of study that I've been trained in, and all of the myriad of energy therapies and energy techniques from EFT, matrix re-imprinting, Psych K, trauma release exercises, Qigong, Reiki. There is a very long list of things that I've studied. And I've looked at the principles of those things, and I've looked at my own ethics and my own understanding of how these things work. And I've worked from the bottom up. I've created my ethical foundation of how I believe I should and other people should work with people with trauma and with stress. And I've created from the bottom up a structure by which I share this information. So that's really what's happened. I've moved into conscious health practice. You will learn with me all of those principles that you will learn if you studied meta health and meta medicine, but you will learn it in a slightly different way. And of course, I don't have that same structure for you to kind of lean on or get involved in as meta medicine does and as the International Meta Medicine Association. I thoroughly recommend that if you want to learn meta medicine and you want that structure, then you go to Rob van Overbruggen or to Penny Kroll. Or if you want online training, you look at Johannes's courses. But I feel it's time for me to grow and expand into providing my own trainings. So my trainings cover everything you need to know to understand the intelligence of the body. But also I have been developing my own techniques that work together with understanding that information, and therefore how we can actually work to release and to, let's say, upgrade the information that we have stored that is creating the body to trigger into the patterns and programs that we have. I am a registered and certificated HeartMath one-to-one provider and group trainer. And using that as one of the big foundations of my scientific understanding and the research behind how the body works and how the fight-flight mechanism works and how our autonomic nervous system works, I use some of those principles and techniques to create a level of safety with people, with clients and individuals, so that they can then be able to allow those changes to happen, the changes that they want to happen. So my new technique, heart-focused healing, is built upon that structure. And there is a lot of concern at the moment in some circles about working safely with clients and safely with people with severe trauma. I'm very, very lucky to have worked in Bosnia with my colleague Caroline Rowling, and we return actually next week for another 2 weeks working again with the communities in Bosnia. And my technique is proven to be very powerful and yet very gentle at the same time. So I feel that I'm putting things together in my own way, rather in a similar way as to Richard Fluke. Richard Fluke is another one of the top people in this area. He also has gone his own way, and he also teaches this same structure, the same information in his own way, where he's expanded into doing his own research and developing his own techniques. So what I'm looking to do is to share my techniques and share this information and this knowledge in a framework that I've created that I believe makes it more accessible and makes it just easier for me to teach in my way with my ethical principles and my motivations. And if you're interested in that, then please go to conscioushealthpractice.com or come and email me at sam@conscioushealthpractice.com or the main website intoalignment.com. You're very welcome to ask me anything. So just to kind of clarify, there is nothing wrong with IMMA and meta medicine. I feel I've kind of outgrown that particular structure and way of teaching it. With a background in teaching, I really feel that I have my own way of doing it. And at the time I was invited to be on the advisory board for the teaching, I didn't feel that the other people on the advisory board were receptive or capable of kind of working together. So I took that as a really good springboard to move into my own workshops and my own training. Please contact me if you want to know more information, and if you want to go to IMMA, then go to IMMA's main website. I look forward to seeing you on a conscious health practice webinar. I give free webinars and free introductions, and I might see you on a personal breakthrough workshop, which is the only way you can access any of the other trainings. My first training is a 4-day personal breakthrough workshop where we turn everything on its head and we look at all the reasons that you are not changing, how you got to where you got and why you're stuck, before we then go further and look at the diagnostic side and the root cause analysis of your symptoms. And then we look at how we actually use heart-focused healing and other techniques and EFT and matrix and other things in order to shift and change those structures that are keeping you held in place. And then we build a dynamic health plan that enables you to create longevity and ecology so that changing your daily routine and daily life becomes easier with all of the right support and right framework. So give me an email or contact me if you need to ask anything, and I hope to see you on a training.